Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of City Skylines. It's great. This game is really cool. I love it. Just hanging out here in the first person camera mode, having a look at the local area. It's really cool to actually see that people are coming into this area. It's kind of pointless, we just got the courthouse building. But out the front here you can see the plazas are populated with people just hanging out with their dog who's got his head, just stuck in the table right there. Normal business going on, and it's really cool to see. The city feels alive, and it's really nice just to go around and explore like this from time to time. And look at that! The shadow disappears. That must be a loading thing. That building there is casting a huge shadow over this, and that's one of the things that I'm curious to see what you all think about these two big buildings on either side. I kind of took a step back and looked at it and went, actually looks a little bit odd. This is the kind of place where you want your central building to be the biggest one. So I wasn't so sure about that, but as of right now I'm actually recording this episode before I've read your feedback on the last one. Just got a busy day ahead of me and wanted to record this one the day before so you could still have your daily videos. Your support on this series has been amazing and I really do appreciate it. It's so cool to have a really fun game to play. And we go through this little chat every single episode. I guess I just feel like I have to mention it because I read the comments and I see that some people aren't too happy about the daily videos. Like, they think there's too many videos, and then there's some people that love it, and I don't know. Let me know what you think about the way these videos are coming out. I think maybe we'll have an odd day off here and there in the future, but for now I want to keep going because I'm really enjoying this game and I love playing it and making the videos. And in this episode, what are we going to do? Just continue expanding this area right here. What more is there to do at the moment? We're going to focus on this and obviously maybe try and get one or two more unique buildings. Really want to work towards those monuments. Oh, that's right, we can actually build one. So I can put some thought into that and think, hey, that's going to cost a lot of money. Where are we going to put it? How are we going to fund it? And maybe we'll actually build that this episode. That'd be pretty cool if we could. So anyway, a little bit of an update on the city. The need for workers has massively increased in these areas, which I find a little bit strange. Our population still kind of stable. Perhaps it was all the commercial buildings over here. I mean, this does take away a lot of workers. 20 out of 20, and then we've got office buildings as well taking away workers. So as we expand the residential areas, then all of that should stabilise, and that's how I'm probably going to keep my eye on things. Also, progress update on this area. It's gone really bad. Look, there's one place here with no workers, and there's one place here with 3 workers, and over here one place with no workers. So it really hasn't worked. This experiment so far is failing, but we will continue to increase the population. Perhaps with a lower employment percentage, people will find their way over here. But it got me thinking, these metros, are they doing their job? Is that working out? If we have a look here and use our analyzation tool, we can see that our 3 lines over here, one of them is actually really popular. It's the one with 14 stops. Look at that. And it got me thinking that perhaps when we look at these numbers right here, it's not about how we've used the metro to connect 2 areas together. It might be that 2 stops are close to one another. So people aren't actually coming all the way over here. And here's another thing, by the way. You can't actually click on the... Or can you? Can you click on that? Look, I can't click on the train itself. That would be really nice because it could tell you how many people are on there. And you can see the trains are coming over. But essentially, it got me thinking that these go and stop at lots of different places, and what we've probably done is filled in a gap between 2 places somewhere else on the line, so now they're taking them back and forth. And overall, slight increase of use on the metro. Need to put in the metro line over here and the bus stops. That's something we'll do right now. So between this cut and the next one, I'm going to research this thing right here, find out where the best place to put it is, etc. And we're going to work on getting some bus stops in the area as well as our metro hooked up. And also the traffic is looking a lot better than last time, right? That's because I converted these into one-way roads on either side. Same thing down here, and people now actually turn off here to go around that way, which I find interesting. Not all of them go around this way, so we've kind of distributed the traffic quite well. And there's obviously more things that we'll be able to do in the future. As the traffic increases, we'll keep changing the roads, but this area looks awesome, and we're going to continue working on it. So things are okay in the area. Our population is steadily increasing. I kind of built an extra road or 2 at the back here as well, and I've been zoning things. I put in the a few policies right here, the one for the high-tech housing, and also I put in the pet ban. I just thought, hey, why don't we give that a try? And I've been considering doing the parks and recreation. However, that probably really would cost me a lot because there are so many parks in this area. So yeah, let's have a look at the metro line. I've hooked that up, and I've been thinking about how this isn't the best way to lay it out. And by the way, My dock over here, wherever it is, it disappeared. I came over here and it was just completely gone, so I was like, okay, and I had to rebuild it. For the metro line, I've been reading the best way to do things is in grids. So you would have your stations like here, 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 and there, and then you'd have lines going across, and then further down, and then you'd have like a checkerboard pattern, which is not what we've got. And if ever we get round to doing another city, which I'm sure we'll do, we will definitely do a different approach to public transport, because this is all kind of all over the place. So there's a ring road here. I made a few lines that connect up to different places. We've got, what have I called this? Capital, yeah. I've called it the capital area for now. So we've got a workers line which goes into the industrial district and then over to this area. This area, by the way, still nothing happening. A little disappointed with that. Looks like we're going to have to expand it with some residential. Then we have an industrial line. Wait, no, that's something completely different, isn't it? Sportscom connects it to the sports and the commercial area. And then we have the ring, which literally just goes around in a circle. And I haven't added any buses in yet, because I realised that we put 3 metros in quite close together for this area. What we'll probably do is have another one here, here, and here. So let's say 3 more. And then once we've got those in place, I'll probably do some bus lanes that kind of go around the whole city and unite it as one thing. But I have divided this up into 4 different sections. What I've been doing is using this thing and snapping it to the roads. So let's have a look at where these areas divide. What you do is click on the road and drag it, and then you get that nice, neat line occurring. And that looks so much better. And by the way, I put in a little one-way, 2-lane through road right there, just so it kind of occurred to me that in order to go around in a circle, you have to go back into the middle. So when we have buses in the future whizzing around, that'll probably be quite useful. But yeah, we're going to mark out these districts to the zones like this and make it look a lot neater that way. And I can't remember what the other thing was that I had in mind. There was something else I was going to mention. At the moment it's not really coming to me. Just typical stuff going on here, just steadily expanding it. But now I'm probably going to start expanding into these other areas as well. Yeah, the other thing to mention is that this area has been shrinking. It's kind of interesting that this is happening because they're asking for more workers and our population has sort of stayed the same. So maybe these jobs that we opened up over here made a big difference. But I put in some one-way roads to encourage people to go to work over here. So hopefully that makes a difference. And I made them one-way because we don't want our traffic to flow directly between the 2 areas. For example, over here I added a one of those things. Wow, that word won't come to me. Incinerators. Yes, added incinerator right here on its own little route into this area, because I figured if I connected those together, which would be the logical thing to do, then there'd be a shortcut into the city down here, which a lot of people would take, and it would make that road busy. So that's not what we're looking for. And by the way, traffic is real good. Look at this. It's very smooth. Don't see any backed up areas. I haven't opened it like this yet, so you can see actually it's pretty good all around the place. That's nice to see. So our expansion here steadily increases. This is looking a little bit healthier now. That's good to see. I think we needed the population increase. And the area over here, I call this Capital Yard, by the way, 41. That's actually just gone up by 1. And this one over here is 43. It's interesting because I put so many parks and extra policies into that area, but not into this one. Actually, we're going to put the pet ban down on this one. There we go. And yeah, it's it's doing a little bit better, which is interesting. But also public services and stuff like that count. So I put down another school in this area, put down a couple more high schools ready for our big expansion. You can see it's generating us a fair amount of money, all of this expansion right here. But what we're going to do is put some offices now between here and actually I don't want anything on that road right there, I figured. Let's just go. I'm not sure what side of the road that's actually connecting to, but all of that I want to be offices because they're going to be like a noise barrier between the motorway and the housing here. So a few blocks of that, and then we'll be able to bring the power over into this area, and we'll start zoning this all of it high density residential as well. So I guess there's not too much more to report on, just continual expansion. I also brought the trees over here out to this line, which looks cool. I'm hoping that the power grid will eventually connect up here so we can remove these power lines. Not really too keen on those. And also filled this up with a bunch more trees and bushes. And I wish actually they could have been a little bit more dense because it looks pretty cool. I like the way you got the different colours, like we did with this area between these two with the brighter green trees. So yeah, no problems to report on really, just steady expansion. I'm going to keep going, and I reckon at some point the death bug is going to come back and bite us, because as we rapidly expand, eventually all the people moving in are going to die and newer generations are going to replace them. Also, let's have a quick check on this area over here. I'm not expecting to see much, however, actually look at that, 13 out of 13, 14 out of 14. This is great. 22 out of 24. Oh, it's starting to work. That's amazing. All of them are full up. That is really, really positive. 14 out of 6. Oh, that's great. And look, they're coming down the motorway. They're dropping things off over. This is exactly what we wanted. I am so glad I decided to come over here and check this out. Oh, that's great. We could even zone a little bit more now, perhaps. Okay, let's do that. Let's get a couple more places on each one. Let's go for another block of 4 right there. Actually, it looks like there's spaces for them to expand, but we'll do this anyway. What about the oil industry? Is that going okay? I can see a building here. Let's put a 4 block. Is that a 5 or a 4? It's a 4 on that side. Wow, and the trucks going up and down the roads. That's going to get busier and busier as we expand this. So hopefully this can work. That is so exciting. 16 out of 16. That's amazing. And look, they're almost ready to upgrade to the next level. Okay, that might be where some of this additional income is coming from. So again, the goal here is to continue expanding so we can get more and more workers into the city. Look at this. This area over here is doing a lot better now as well. So I think it's time to rapidly expand this area, and then that means we'll possibly be able to expand the area over there in the distance as well. I think I might find us another activity to do, because expansion is steady and slow. You know, I've been playing the game at full speed, waiting patiently, zoning out areas, and you can see it's coming along, but it's just not happening fast enough. But a sign that things are working well are the traffic, because as the traffic increases, we know that more things are happening in the city, I guess, so to speak. So for example, over here, this is starting to really back up, and I've got a feeling that our shortcuts here might actually be sending people through all the way over here, so they're going straight over the roundabout. So obviously I've got a little bit of work to do here, maybe redesign this or something like that. But you may notice as well we're getting not enough electricity, and that's because I do believe we need to build another one of these. There you go. And occasionally I get questions like, why don't I want to do the oil power or the nuclear reactor or any of that stuff? The reason why is because we're just going to go with the clean energy. So that's the DP one, and this is the regular one. We've already got the regular ones. Actually, let's build the DP one and compare them side by side. So it looks like it might be slightly smaller, but I'm probably imagining things there. At first glance, can't really see what's different at all. Just small details around the edge here. Look, there's some car parking spaces and a boiler or something there, and a fence going around the whole thing, but none of that on this one. That's interesting. Yeah, so an idea that I had is that maybe we could make this look a bit more like a park, you know, put down some trees, space out the roads a little bit, do something interesting with it. And it looks like we've got ourselves a jam over here. That doesn't look good at all, does it? Oh, so many more problems are starting to emerge now. Okay, that looks really bad. I hadn't seen that for a while. I'm not really sure. I've played around with the trains a lot, and I can never quite figure out the optimal way to lay them out. But maybe if we add... Well, I know this isn't going to fix it, but I'll do it anyway. We'll add another track like that and see if that helps. Probably doesn't. Probably doesn't help in the slightest. Or maybe it did, because now they're moving around. Anyway, I'll keep my eye on that as well, but I really don't know what to do about the trains. Okay, I think the traffic is starting to border horrendous at this point. Let's open up the traffic meter and zoom out. So loads of traffic going on right here. This is always bad. The rest of the city still looks good. Of course, a couple of roads like this are fine. They just appear red. Down here it looks a little bit congested, but in general all of that's fine. So there's some traffic building up here. That just looks like high road usage. So the real problem is that we've got some traffic going through like this. This road is being heavily used as well. That's crazy. But I've got a feeling it might be people coming from this area plus the commercial going into our industrial places starting to put a strain on it. So I do think that this is going to need some sort of redesign. So one of the things you could comment on about this whole design is that we've split our industrial area in half, and then our hub for the traffic going into those areas is right in the middle. So to get from one side to the other, you've got to go straight through it all, which obviously causes a lot of congestion. So I've been observing, and it does feel like quite a few cars go from this side to that side and vice versa, although more so from here to there than the other way. So what I decided to do was add a little road over this side and a little road over there to connect them together. At the moment the top one isn't being used at all, but the bottom one is taking a few cars, so even with a few it makes a tiny bit of difference. But that hasn't really helped, so maybe like redesigning that is in order. But I'll just keep my eye on things and keep trying to tweak things. I put a little slip road over here, and it was interesting to see how they change lanes. So the traffic here likes to get into this middle lane to come onto this road, which sometimes gets backed up. As soon as you put in the slip road, all of the cars here want to go on the left-hand lane, or sorry, their right-hand, and they'll join this road a lot easier. But then it means all the traffic gets backed up because it all tries and joins the same lane, which is strange stuff. And now you can see they're using 2 lanes. So I think when it got backed up, everyone tried to get in the middle lane or something like that. And it's interesting watching traffic because it kind of comes and goes. Like sometimes it gets heavily built up, like it's starting to do right now, and then in a little while this will pass and it will go back to normal. It's just the way it works. Well, this doesn't work. You could argue that I've done something wrong here, but I think the principle is correct, even though it looks really ugly because I just built it quickly in the space that we had without using any roads or stuff to make it nice and even. And the problem here is that they all go into one lane on this side, then they try and go one lane over here, so everything just gets horribly backed up. And a similar issue over here, you know, we've got 3 lanes and everyone wants to use one of them. Seems to be the most common of problems with this game. I wonder if we can upgrade one of these. You see, little sections like this might benefit from having the road type change, just so that they use the lanes correctly. I wonder if we could even do a smaller one. We can't, so we can't really test that. Maybe here we could, but you know, it's a problem, and that's not the way to fix it, so I'll have to try something different. Well, I wanted to come up with a custom design, but after about 30 minutes of trying, I gave up and decided to go with this design, which appears to have some issues as well. There's some lane changing stuff going on here all the time, just switching into different lanes, and it slows the traffic right down. It's really strange behaviour, and it causes backups, which is no good, of course. But at least that's working a little bit better than before. Just this right here being a bit of a pain. But there you go. So now we've got 2 of those in the city. They look very, very cool. And anyway, there was something I talked about earlier in the episode that I kind of forgotten about. The space elevator. We've got to think about building this thing. So I think I'm going to focus on getting our income up by expanding this area here. And then we'll look for a location to put this. Obviously, the commercial hub might be a good one. But we also have a lot of traffic here already. So maybe not. By the way, congratulations! 150,000 people in the city. That's a new milestone for us. And I thought I'd show you. I just decided to build some more offices over here. Still got tons of industrial and commercial demand. That means the residential isn't going to expand. So gonna have to keep working on that. Expanded some more over in our little other area, which I can never seem to give a name for. But you know what I'm on about, the specialized industries off in the distance. So anyway, the space monument. Where are we going to place this? You might be able to guess, because it should be pretty obvious. Right next to the airport, in this little space right here, I think we should have our... oh, I thought that was a lot wider. We could actually put that in the middle and have the roads just come straight down. That's what we're going to do. I'm going to put some parks and stuff around this as well. But the entire time that I've been playing this, I've been thinking, you know what, we're accumulating so much money, we're never going to really need all of it or spend it. But that cost 1.5 million, and this is going to attract lots of tourists. So building it next to the airport seemed like the logical thing to do. And look at that, we've attached some roads, but look, this is off by 1 block. Doesn't even matter, I'm not even bothered. We have ourselves a space elevator. Which, by the way, can you tell me what a space elevator does? I was thinking about that. It's a little bit strange of a term because it's not an elevator into space. It's some sort of mast for a signal, and it needs some water, of course. Of course, your space elevator is going to need some water. How silly of me. How did I not think of that? Yeah, so there you go. That's the space elevator. This thing looks pretty damn crazy, doesn't it? It looks futuristic, and now it's going to bring tons and tons of tourists into the city, which I'm not sure is going to be the most beneficial of things. You see, some of these other monuments will do things like increase the land value everywhere, which is extremely good, obviously. But this thing, you know, it's put us in the debt for a little while. We'll recover out of that, don't worry. But the tourism might not be so great. But hopefully it'll bring more people in on the airport. This thing hasn't been too popular, but there you go, 335. I don't know if that's literally just from where we've been placing this down right now. I also feel like we should put some parks around this thing and make it look a little prettier, but that is it for now. It looks really cool, doesn't it? And we're going to aim to add more of these in our city. That is 1 of 5. We are 1/5 of the way to completing our goal, getting all the unique buildings and monuments. And that's going to be it for this episode. I hope you've enjoyed it. Steady expansion of this area over here. It may not seem like a lot, but it just takes a long time to wait for the game to catch up and grow, so that's just kind of how it goes. But there you go, we built the space elevator. It's been awesome. If you've enjoyed it, leave a like, it's always appreciated, and I will catch you in the next episode. Bye bye.